Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Please join me in singing how good it is that all of us are together this evening. Hine Matov. Hine Matov. Umanayim Shemet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov. Umanayim Shemet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov. Umanayim Shemet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov. Shemanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. How good it is. How good it is. How sweet it is. How sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is. How good it is. How sweet it is. How sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine Matov. Umanayim Shemet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov. Umanayim Shemet Achim Gam Yachad. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. That had enough Shabbat Shalominess for me. That was lovely, wonderful. It is so wonderful to see all of you in the very cool conditions, or cooler conditions than it is at least outside, and a beautiful Shabbat that we have an opportunity to rest and to reflect and to refresh and to renew our souls through just taking this moment in time together. Taking a moment in time to just be together. There are prayer books that are underneath your seats, and they are blue, but also you can find them. If you look right underneath, you'll find some prayer books. But also we have screens that are also there. And I'm saying this because we have some people in our community who are in fact new to our community. And if you follow along on the screens, the bottom right-hand page, part of the screen has page numbers, and you can actually know what page you're on in the book if you're following along on the screen, or you can just use the screen if you'd like. Some people just prefer to do that. And if you're in the book and you find that you have somehow not found your way, you've sort of gotten lost, chances are if you turn the page, that's exactly where you should be, all right? So it's a great Jewish secret, turn the page, all right? But it is wonderful to have everyone here, and we start off Shabbat, each and every Shabbat, by welcoming one another here, and we have people here who are here for the very first time, or they're new to our community, and so I want to just welcome them first. If you are new or new-ish to the community, you've never been here before, would you raise your hand and just we welcome you here? Okay, that's awesome. Okay, so first off, would you introduce yourself? Judy, so glad to have you here. You've been in Charlotte for like 7 weeks, is that right? 7 weeks. Welcome to Charlotte. Welcome. And Mark, you are a pastor of a Lutheran church, a youth pastor of a Lutheran church right here in town. Is that correct? We welcome you. Glad to have you here as well. Anyone else? Yes, please. Great. Even newer. Ryan, welcome. Glad to have you here from Florida. So glad to have you here on the mass migration of Florida up to Charlotte that we've experienced. And it is with great is there anyone else? Yes. So glad to have you here. Thank you for being here. And very nice to meet you, and glad to have you here, and welcome to Temple Bethel. So sometimes it takes courage to just walk into a new building, into a new place, and I really appreciate that. And it takes courage to come into sometimes to a service that you've never been to before, and we have a culture here of warm welcome and warm embrace. And some of the people who are here who have the warmest welcome and most warm embrace are our partners from the Charlotte Jewish Preschool. And so, raise your hand if you are connected with the Charlotte Jewish Preschool. I think I see you all sitting. Next time you're sitting in front, my friends. One of your graduates is up here, at least I know. Probably more than one of your graduates, but is here today. We have more graduates also here. Yes, bigger graduates, right? The Foodman family is right there, all graduates of CJP. Brooke and Becca, thank you for your partnership always. Thank you for the gifts that you bring to the Charlotte Jewish community. To the teachers, we so appreciate that you are spending Shabbat with us and that you did some learning with us this week with the clergy of Temple Bethel. Our home is your home, and we are so thrilled to have you here. So Shabbat Shalom. We take a moment to also say Shabbat Shalom to the people who are at home. So turn around and say Shabbat Shalom at the cameras. We'll say Shabbat Shalom to people who are at home or in hospital rooms, wherever you might be around the world. Shabbat Shalom. And it wouldn't be enough unless we turned around to the north, the south, the east, and the west, and to warmly welcome one another into our congregation. So please turn around and say Shabbat Shalom and welcome one another here. It's with great happiness and appreciation that we invite Jenny Rosenberg on occasion of her 70th birthday to come forward and to light the Shabbat candles. She was just giving Abby a hug as she walked in. Thank you for the drive-by hug, Abby.
All you do is press this button right here, and it will like sort of. Yeah.
Do we start with this?
No, just roll it. So just keep hold it down.
Baruch
Ta Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu
lahadlik ner shel
Shabbat.
We're going to join together in Kiddush, and if you are in the preschool teaching crowd, sometimes we hold imaginary cups too. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu. V'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh bereshit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh, zecher letziyat mitzrayim, ki banu v'charta Be'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim, b'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinachaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim. Jenny, 7 years ago when I came to the congregation and started on July 1st, you were starting your presidency of the congregation. And so in many ways, my coming into the senior rabbinate of the congregation was really in parallel with your leadership. And it's because of your leadership that we have settled here and settled roots here and thrived here. And so on behalf of just my family and I also thank you too. And we are here to celebrate your 70th birthday. And I asked you this week the kinds of things that you were proud of. Because there's so much that you could be proud of. Proud of your 2 beautiful children. Proud of your marriage to Bishop. Proud of the career and the opportunities that you've had, the ways that you have given back to our community, whether it is in our gift shop, or if it has been with the sisterhood, or on our board, and as the president of our congregation. So many ways that you could be proud. And you gave what was the most Ginny answer you could possibly ever give, which I loved, which is that it wasn't that you were proud, but appreciative of what it has given you. It is the example that you set, that you get what you give, that makes you who you are. And on this opportunity to celebrate your 70th birthday, we say, Mekor HaChaim, source of life. God who has been with our ancient ancestors and our mothers and our fathers through their wanderings and journeys in their lives. That God be with you too, Ginny, to support you in this next phase of your life, in which you have adventures and meaning and good reading, and that you get to dance and sing into a life of good deeds and making a difference and really learning and being whole. May God, who supported our ancient ancestors, support you with love, with companionship and partnership, and with no pressure to any of your children, maybe one day to grandchildren. Zeb's not here. Great, we can say that. But most importantly, to a life where you get to be appreciative of what life has given you. Amen. We've been trying to elevate the good that's been happening in our lives, trying to elevate ways in which we get to celebrate the positive things that are happening. I know that one of the things that I have been so appreciative of is that our oldest son, Micah, is on an excursion to Germany, and he's getting back tomorrow, and how excited I am to see him, and that is just a beautiful thing. So I am in anticipation of returns and wonderful things. I am excited, a good thing in our family's life. But I'm wondering what good things have been happening in your lives, whether small or large, something that you can elevate and share with our community. Please.
Today's my birthday.
Happy birthday!
And in 2 days it's my friend Annette's birthday.
Happy birthday, Annette.
We're here with our tribe. Our tribes, and I think we have realized what tribe should be, because we met, a couple of us knew each other, but we're close friends now, we help each other. We have outings together, we have meetings, and we have stuff. So it's been very good.
Thank you, Jude.
Our sings together.
So happy birthday and a happy birthday, and thank you to your tribe for being here and for good things and for living life together with the support of one another. Thank you so much. Other good things and things that have happened this week, small or large? Yes.
I have heard listed as of this week 31 cups of blueberries. And I've been making them for taking care of my friends who have
Did you say you harvested 34 cups? 34 cups of blueberries this season? That sounds either like a tummy ache initially, if you're all at once, but that sounds wonderful. I hope that each flavorful blueberry is just explodes in your mouth. That's wonderful. Yeah, Brooke. For gratitude for an energizing week of learning and for preparing for our youngest learners. That's a beautiful thing. Thank you. Yes? I'm sorry, did you say niece was born? Yes. Your niece was born on Wednesday. Mazel tov. I know. I got very excited by that. That's really wonderful. Mazel, will you please extend our love? So mazel tov, and hopefully you get some snuggles in soon. Taking your grandkids to see their great-grandmother. It's a beautiful thing. Wonderful. Thank you, Dan. Anyone else? Yeah, please. You got a new hip. Stanley, first off, I heard join the club. I heard that. But also, that's great. You're walking fantastically. That's really wonderful. Stan, mazel tov, and may your basketball dreams come true. All right. Absolutely, yes. For promotions and new jobs, that's beautiful, wonderful. Please wish them a mazel tov. Okay. Oh, yeah, and also, controlling our screens tonight, in every Shabbat, is Will. And Will he and his partner had a baby this week, and Mazel Tov. And so we're all cheering for you down here, Will. I know he did not raise his hand, but I'm gonna. There he is. His hand is raised right now. Mazel Tov, Will. Anyone else? Yes.
This is my first job post-college graduation, and I'm so excited.
So for first jobs and blueberries and grandchildren meeting great-grandparents and for new hips and birthdays and tribes and all sorts of things, we offer our deepest sense of thanks and gratitude not only to God for giving us life, but for sustaining our lives to help us reach joyous occasions.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh.
Amen to all the blessings of the week and to the blessing of being in community for another Shabbat. In a moment, we will sing the words of Lecha Dodi, a 16th century Kabbalistic piyut, or liturgical poem that imagines Shabbat as a beautiful bride that we joyfully and eagerly prepare to greet. There are many intriguing aspects of this mystical poem. The fact that the first 8 verses are an acrostic spelling out the author's name, Shlomo Halevi. But I want to draw your attention to another source of meaning from this text. In the first verse of Lecha Dodi, we sing Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, keep and remember in a single command. Keep and remember in a single command. What is this about? In this week's Torah portion, Ve'et Hanan, we receive a second rendition of the Ten Commandments, as told by Moses to the Israelites as he reminds the people of all that they have been through together. In this second telling, the first 3 commandments are the exact same as the first rendition of the 10 commandments. But the 4th commandment, the commandment regarding Shabbat, is different. You see, in Exodus, we are told to zachor Shabbat, to remember. But in Deuteronomy, we are taught to shamor, to keep Shabbat. What is this discrepancy? No discrepancy at all, the rabbis say. You see, when God gave Moses the 10 commandments, God told us to shamor and zachor all at once, simultaneously in one breath. It sounded something like shamor v'zachor, emphasizing the importance of both keeping Shabbat, abstaining from the things that we do in the rest of our week, working, grinding, being busy, and remembering Shabbat by making it special through challah, through prayer, through song, through community. So as we move into the words of Lecha Dodi, as we enter this sacred time together, I invite you to reflect on the ways in which you might shamor and zachor Shabbat. What aspects of Shabbat you want to carry with you into the hours ahead, and how you might make Shabbat different from the rest of your week.
Lecha Dodi likrat chala, yalla la, yalla la, yalla la, ne Shabbat, ne kabela. Lecha Dodi likrat chala, yalla la, yalla la, yalla la, ne Shabbat, ne kabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad, hishbiyanu el hamichad. Adonai echad u'shmo echad, l'shemo tiferet elitilam. Lecha Dodi likrat chala, yalla la, yalla la, yalla la, ne Shabbat, ne kabela. Lecha Dodi likrat chala, yalla la, yalla la, yalla la, ne Shabbat, ne kabela. Likrat Shabbat, lechu v'nilcha, ki hi mekor habracha. Ei rosh mikedem lesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshavat techila. Lecha Dodi likrat chala, yalla la, yalla la, yalla la, ne Shabbat, ne kabela. Lecha Dodi likrat chala, yalla la, yalla la, yalla la, ne Shabbat, ne kabela. Hitoreri, hitoreri, ki ba'orech uri ori, uri
week's Torah portion contains a second telling of the 10 Commandments, yes, and it also contains the source text for the Shema and Ve'ahavta, our declaration of God's oneness, our proclamation of our faith, our blueprint for the ways in which we commit to passing on God's mitzvot onto the generations to come. As we enter into the Shema liturgy, first with Ma'ariv Aravim, our prayer for creation, followed by Shema and Ve'ahavta, we meditate on the ways in which our actions and our deeds might demonstrate our love to God and to our Jewish tradition.
Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Oh, rain on balayla, oler or mipnei choshech, oler or mipnei choshech, vechoshech mipnei or. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Amen. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol lebavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Beshinantam levanecha, bedibarta bam, beshivtecha bebetecha, uvlechtecha baderech, uvshochbecha uvkumecha, uksharta leot al yadecha, vehayu letotafot einenecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha lema'an tizkeru ba'asitem et mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim Elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim, liyot lachem le'Elohim, ani Adonai Elohechem.
Who is like you, God of mystery and majesty, distant and present, thundering and quiet, the beginning and the end, the atom and the cosmos, the darkness and the light, the one and the all. Artist of sea and sky, author of the miraculous and the mundane, source of life, blessing, and sustaining creation. Who is like you, glorious in holiness, to whom we praise, the God who redeemed us from Egypt, the God who parted the sea, the God to whom Miriam and Moses led us in song.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נוראתי לו תוסיף אלה, נוראתי לו תוסיף אלה, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים, זכרי, זכרי, בנו ואמרו. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדרוני את יעקב וגלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
After the expansiveness of the song of the sea, of Mi Chamocha, there's vulnerability of the nighttime. And so we pray that God spread over us a sukkot shalom, a sukkah, a canopy of peace, that we may lie down in peace and rise up to life renewed.
השיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידי
Shamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time.
V'shameru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asut et HaShabbat l'dorotam berit olam beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim et haaretz uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash. Yalalai, lai, lai, 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 yalalai, lai, lai. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agiti latecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Vekonei Hakol V'zocher Chasdei Avot Ve'imahot Umevi Geula Livnei B'neihem Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Bezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai Mechayei Hakol Hatarav Lehoshia Morid Hatal Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed Mechayei Hakol Erachamim Rabim Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim Umatir Asurim Umkayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Micha Mocha Baal Gevurot Umido Melach Melech Memit Umchayeh Umotzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai Mechayei hakol Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh Ukdoshim b'chol yom yahaleluch Selah Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
We continue in silence with the words of our heart, or the words of the prayer books up to page 180, we will come out of our silence with words of comfort from the prophet Isaiah. Comfort, comfort my people. These are the words which Cantor Roskin just so beautifully sang. that open this week's Haftorah portion from the book of Isaiah. It is the first of 7 Haftorot of consolation, all drawn from the book of Isaiah, that deliver a message of comfort in the 7 weeks following Tisha B'Av, the Jewish day of mourning, leading up to Rosh Hashanah. The idea is that after facing the immense pain and brokenness of Tisha B'Av, we now open ourselves to healing, to comfort, for our wounded places as the days of awe approach. This Shabbat Nachamu, we think of those in our lives who could use a little extra comfort, a little extra wholeness, a little extra healing for the brokenness that they face. If there is anyone you are thinking of this Shabbat who is in need of healing, of mind, of body, or of spirit, I invite you to say their names out loud as my eyes meet yours. We offer the words of Mishaberach, our prayer for healing and wholeness.
Yuval Noah Harari, the Israeli intellectual, suggests that 2 million years ago, multiple human species adopted this hunter-gatherer lifestyle. And then Homo sapiens, our species, eventually evolved in the African savanna and spread globally. And the most significant development that happened in the history of humanity, according to Dr. Harari, was the cognitive revolution. And the cognitive revolution happened tens of thousands of years ago, but it marked a turning point in our human and cognitive abilities, because in his seminal work, *Sapiens: A Brief History of Humankind*, Dr. Harari emphasizes that the catalyst for the cognitive revolution was our ability to create narratives, our ability to create stories. And these narratives, these stories, they fostered social cohesion. These narratives and these stories formed the foundation of societies, of religions, of value systems, even of corporations. Of a concept that we have in the religious world is something called narrative theology, and it's somewhat related. Narrative theology plays a profound role in Judaism, offering a method to understand the faith's core beliefs and practices through storytelling. These narratives shape the identity and theology of Jewish people, providing insights into God's interaction with humanity, the unique covenant, for example, between God and the Jewish people, and the moral and ethical principles guiding Jewish life. And these stories, these narratives, well, they come about through the story of creation, emphasizing God as the creator of the universe and all of humanity, and the responsibility to care for the earth and to have Shabbat. Covenant with Abraham and then Sarah highlights the special relationship between God and the Jewish people, affirming their identity as a chosen community with a unique mission. And a story of the Exodus from Egypt, that's a story itself that portrays God's intervention in history on behalf of the enslaved, emphasizing themes of liberation and faith and obedience to God's commandments given at Mount Sinai. The giving of the Torah at Mount Sinai established the covenant between God and the Jewish people, forming the foundation for Jewish law and ethics and religious practice. Story after story after story creates a narrative theology, creates a cohesion that helps our people and our faith come into being. And throughout Jewish history, these narratives have been embedded in stories, and then in holidays and rituals that we create, engaging in narrative reading and storytelling from the Passover Seder to the Shabbat table, from Shavuot to Simchat Torah. These narratives and these holidays and rituals that center around them provide profound insights into life's meaning, wisdom for conversations, and strength to uphold values in challenging times. They offer a sense of purpose and interconnectedness, connecting us to history, each other, and God, even during times of suffering and despair. The cognitive revolution was built on stories, and stories and narratives are what our people are all about. And these stories and narratives, well, they shape a worldview that frames life for us as Jews as a quest to seek goodness, to mend the world, to offer solace to those in pain. They call on us to stand against injustice, to welcome others, sanctify the ordinary, and share our success. The narratives reveal that God is accessible through acts of kindness, making the divine real in our world through our own actions and through our own deeds. Our narratives and traditions also include words that create distinctions, defining elements of Jewish life such as the observance of Shabbat and the sanctity of spaces and time. Shabbat sets itself apart as a holy day, offering a spiritual sanctuary for rejuvenation, reflection, and community connection. And while it stands distinct from other days of the week, it unites Jews around the world. As the saying goes, for as much as the Jewish people have kept Shabbat, Shabbat has kept the Jewish people. Shabbat is both part of a narrative that creates distinction and a unifying force across time and across place. And the dual nature of Jewish individual and communal practices reinforce the values of unity and cooperation and spirituality. That's all background. Because what I want to talk about tonight is that shared narrative, that shared ideals that come from the stories that we have. It's not just in the realm of religious life where we have shared narratives and practices, but it's also in the realm of our modern day world. And here's how I see it. Decades ago, Israeli lawmakers granted judges the authority to block legislation in order to protect basic human rights. It's a key narrative in Israel's legal system, and that narrative created cohesion in Israel. And the legislation empowered the Supreme Court to strike down laws violating personal liberties or adversely impacting minority groups. For example, it supported the reform movement and protected LGBTQ rights and ensured fairness and justice for Israeli Arabs. And many Israelis consider the reasonableness standard integral to Israel's robust democracy. But it's shaped on a narrative agreed upon by the Israeli society. And recently, the new ultra-right-wing governing coalition that barely won an election passed legislation this week to diminish the Supreme Court's authority, exposing a deep ideological divide in the country. And critics fear that this move could lead to unchecked governmental practices and policies. On one side, the government coalition believes that this law won't lead to authoritarianism. They view reducing the judiciary's power as necessary to balance Parliament's, the Knesset's influence and prioritize decisions of elected lawmakers. But some see the Supreme Court judges as a part of a secular elite, and certain past rulings as undermining the government's agenda. And conversely, those who were protesting this week, the opposition to this legislation, fears curtailing the Supreme Court's authority may pave the way for a more authoritarian and ultra-nationalist regime. They see the judiciary as a critical defender of human minority rights, a check on potential far-right policies, and worry about weakening the court's ability to protect fundamental liberties. As the situation unfolds, uncertainty prevails. With hundreds and thousands protesting regularly in Israel, the division has led to the breakdown of a common narrative about the country and its founding ideals that have united Jews in Israel and around the world. It also raises questions about Israel's role as a homeland, a place for Jewish continuity, and the viability of an age-old dream, which is Israel. Fighter pilots and army reservists protesting and boycotting national service raise concerns about Israel's ability to face external challenges and existing threats. The recent events challenge the unifying narratives of Israel as a beacon of democracy in the Middle East, upholding values like freedom of speech, religious pluralism, and individual rights. Additionally, the increasing alienation of Jews in the diaspora from Israel questions its role and its narrative as a religious and cultural center, impacting connections with a heritage and meaningful religious experience for Jews across the world. And this is perhaps one of the worst aspects of what transpired this week. Because whether or not judicial reform is necessary, the process and path taken by the Israeli government, by Prime Minister Netanyahu and the ruling ultra-nationalist parties, have shattered long-standing unifying narratives that both Israel and the diaspora Jewish communities have centered around. The narrative of Israel has been profoundly damaged this week. But why should we even care here in the United States? Why? Why care? It's over there. It's not here. Even though it might seem distant to some American Jews, the narratives that connect us, such as Shabbat and stories of struggle and resilience, remind us of our interconnectedness. Because we are part of the same global Jewish community, bonded by shared values, by historical ties, and a sense of belonging. Because Israel holds a special place in our hearts as the homeland of our ancestors, its significance in Jewish history and tradition fosters a deep emotional connection that transcends geographic distances. Developments in Israel, whether political or constitutional or societal, resonate with us because they impact our collective heritage and our identity. It's about the narrative that we agree upon, the stories that bind us together, the democratic principles, the human rights, the pluralism upheld by Israel align with our core values as American Jews. Israel's commitment to democracy resonates with our belief in equal representation and individual freedoms. When challenges arise, we feel compelled to engage and support the nation that reflects the values that we also hold dear. That's the shared narrative. Family and personal connections add another layer of attachment. Many American Jews, myself included, have relatives or friends living in Israel, making the nation's well-being a personal concern. And this sense of kinship reinforces our emotional interconnectedness. Ultimately, the narrative that binds us to Israel is one of solidarity, of concern, of shared aspirations. And as part of the global Jewish community, we understand the importance of standing together, of supporting one another, of safeguarding the values that unite us as a people. Apathy is not an option. Instead, we embrace our interconnectedness, ensuring that the ties that bind us remain strong and enduring. In times of uncertainty, hope becomes, I think, a beacon of light. Tikva, the national anthem of Israel. Hope talks about love as a source of strength and the pursuit of universal values as a moral imperative. The recent events in Israel have reminded us of the fundamental moral truth embodied in the Ten Commandments and the Shema that Rabbi Karpel talked about this week, emphasizing unity and our shared responsibility to one another as a part of our collective humanity. Because democracy is not just about imposing the will of the majority on the minority. Democracy involves upholding universal moral truths and ensuring the protection and empowerment of all members of society. And we all play a role in shaping the future, of recognizing that we are collectively responsible for the outcome. As we navigate through these challenging times, I hope that we can hold on to hope, tikva, and love as a guiding force. That we draw strength from our shared humanity and commitment to upholding the principles that unite us all. Together we can build a future where democracy is truly for all the people, where everyone is treated with dignity and respect, and where the spirit of unity prevails above all else. Because these narratives are the lifeblood of Jewish tradition and thought. These narratives and these stories remind us of our shared journey, of our common purpose. These stories tell us of a community bound by covenant, committed to righteousness, and connected by a shared history and a shared heritage. In this rich tapestry of Jewish tradition, each thread and narrative can bring us closer together. The mosaic of Israeli sociopolitics invites us to grapple with our beliefs and engage in global conversation that weaves into a complex tapestry of Jewish life and thought. To ensure that the actions of those in power do not shatter the unifying narrative that reinforces the connections that bind us together as a global Jewish community. As we navigate through these challenging times, let's hold on to hope. To me, the protests, the democracy in action, is hope. Recent events have reminded us of our shared responsibility to one another, about the imperative to safeguard democracy and human rights for all. And I hope that we can continue to weave our narratives together, our stories together, through dialogue and empathy and mutual respect. That our narratives can help us stand united, ensuring that our interconnectedness remains strong and enduring, so that we can build a future where the unifying narrative of our shared heritage, of our shared values, prevails, creating a world and a Judaism and a state of Israel that stands up for unity and justice and equality for all to flourish. Shabbat Shalom. We continue with the words of Aleinu L'Shabayach. Please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו פורעים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. This past Wednesday evening, as our Temple Bethel community joined the global Jewish community in marking Tisha B'Av, we studied a variety of texts that speak to the experience of rebuilding, of moving toward wholeness after a period of brokenness or loss. Our evening culminated in the Japanese art of kintsugi, repairing broken pottery with gold lacquer. The finished product is beautiful, it's the whole point of the gold, and yet the evidence of the break is on full display. It is whole, but it will never be the same. The act of kintsugi, of putting together broken shards, is not so different from the process of mourning. No ritual drives home this point more than the act of kriya, the rending or tearing of our garments or ribbons to embody the tearing of our hearts after loss. After time, the garment may be repaired, it may be sewn back together, but it will always leave a visible scar, evidence of what is no more. And the kriya ribbon never completely severs. The threads above the tear remain intact even amidst the brokenness. So too do the threads that connect us to our loved ones, long, long after they're no longer here on earth. As is TBE custom, I will read the names out loud of the members of our community who have been laid to rest in the last 30 days, followed by the names of the members who have died at this time in years past. Tonight, our congregation mourns the loss of Albert Soferneko, and we mark the period of Shloshim, 30-day of mourning period of Arnold Greenfield, Linda Harkavy, Ellen Lipson, Sabina Markel, Billy Merkelson, Paula Musler, Robert Winters. And we mark the yard sites of William Herbert Billy Aschendorf, William C. Batt, Edward Benson, Jules Buxbaum, John Canfield, Marion Dobkin, Shimon Yehudin, Randy Fagan, Helen Glazer Finman, Harry Fox, Terry Frankel, William Friedman, Margaret Gentile, Nancy Gilberg, Ann Gerson Shore, Rose Gluckman, Molly Haber, Pat Hayes, Gersona Heyman, Ida Hinschel, Yetta Peller Hurd, Johanna Hilfman, Harriet Hirschman, Samuel Hunt, Martin Herlich, Larry Kaplan, Andrew Karp, Sadie Klotzman, Marie Kritzer, Lisa Crucius, Selma M. Liebold, Harry Leventhal, Benjamin Levin, Shirley Levine, Edward Minogue, Jack Miller, George Irving Miller, Elliot Bruce Needle, Clara Newman, Sophia Novell, Ida Poehler, Sam Poehler, Bernard Price, Israel Richman, Marion Sager, Ida Schmers, Margaret Butler Sealbinder, Albert Emil Sealbinder, Rosalind Sherwin, William Sims, Sylvia Slip, Carol Slotkin, Bessie Stein, Lawrence Stickler, Irene Wiener. If anyone else in the community is mourning a recent loss or mourning a yahrzeit, I invite you to say their name out loud as well. We rise together for the words of Kaddish Yatom. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Ve'alma divrach yirtei v'yamlich malchutei, V'chayechon uvyomechon uv'kayei deko Beit Yisrael, V'agala u'visman pari v'imru. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam ulmei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitha'ar v'yithraman v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudusha, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushvechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael,
A few announcements. Because Tisha B'Av was this week, we recognize that we have 7 weeks to the High Holy Days, which, who's counting though? I am, okay? I just want to be clear. High Holidays 5784 is quickly approaching, and one thing to note is that the High Holiday materials are going to be coming out, and they're going to be sent to you at home. So look out for the High Holiday mailer, and that's going to be coming to you. And it's already on our website, and you can look for all the information about the High Holy Days. The first rehearsal of our wonderful High Holy Day adult choir is on Tuesday, August 8th, and we're always looking for more people to join our choir. Join with Kenner Roskin and Kenner Thomas as well, as we join this awesome choir together every Tuesday until Rosh Hashanah, starting on August 8th. Elul, the month dedicated to self-reflection and preparation for the High Holy Days, is coming up. And Rabbi Erdheim will be leading by Zoom beginning on Wednesday, August 16th, for 4 consecutive Wednesdays, our reading series on a book called On Repentance and Repair by Rabbi Danya Ruttenberg. Rabbi Ruttenberg's work offers a really fresh perspective on atonement and forgiveness, and it's a great opportunity to read the book together. You can sign up, and we have the book in our gift shop. Some other general reminders: there are just a few spaces left for Temple's annual Wild Acres Retreat. We'd love to have you come join us and to register by August 11th. And also, if you have any questions about making your My Temple commitment or religious school registration, don't hesitate to contact Temple Bethel. Last but not least, this summer we have had student rabbi Ali Karpel with us, our rabbinic intern, who is going now into her 3rd year of rabbinical school at the Hebrew Union College Jewish Institute of Religion in Los Angeles. She has been with us all summer long, and this is her last Shabbat with us this weekend. I know. I feel the same. We feel the same way. All of us on staff, we all feel the same way. And so on behalf of the congregation, we'd like to present Rabbi Carvel with a gift for you, for the ways in which you have taught our Torah study and taught all of us, for the work that you have done that we're going to be able to utilize through the year, for the growth and the opportunities and reflection, and for the work that you have done just with our whole clergy team. You've added so much to our congregation in the 8 weeks that you've been here, such a huge impact, and I cannot tell you the number of people who have just spoken so highly about who you are and what you have brought to both the professional team but to our congregation, and we thank you so much. So on behalf of our congregation and all of us, we Mazel Tov, and thank you so much, and travel safely. We're going to conclude with the words of Hatikva, the hope, the great hope, which is Israel's national anthem. And actually see some of the people from our Israel trip. This is actually how we close our Israel trip as well, standing in a circle in Jerusalem. But I invite everyone to please rise. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.